Yo, what's up, boys? We're back here to the YouTube video, and we're gonna be doing actually a different kind of video. We're gonna do two replays this video, but it's gonna be a build guide on I would say not new, but a proxy that I've been doing quite a bit recently. This is the proxy 1rax barracks, and you've probably seen this build before. It was really popular, but we're doing a different version that BN does, where he actually takes a base and he fakes it out, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. But just to start things off here, we're gonna send a SCV out to proxy. At the same time, we rally an SCV with the command center to build a depot. As for where you want to proxy, it really just depends. Obviously, you don't want it to be in like the most obvious spot, but you also don't want to be too far. I would say at least on this map, somewhere here would be nice. First, you're gonna build a barracks in your base at 16. Same with gas, so very standard, very standard. And what you're gonna do now is, as you can see here, I'm floating some minerals. What I'm gonna do with that is I'm actually gonna start a second barracks here. So this, if you know this build already, or if you've seen this part of the build already, exactly the same as the one base version. But what's gonna be different is that you're actually not gonna build an orbital, which you'll see that I won't do that. So Neeb's gonna go ahead and scout in here, and I'm gonna chase it away. You basically want it just to look as normal as possible. What I'll even do sometimes is I'll fake a unit, or I'll build an orbital and cancel it, some crazy stuff. So here, thankfully, he just leaves right away, so I can not build the orbital there. And then he's gonna sit around here. Now, what is this replay? I build single marines, and the next one I'll show you, I actually build a reactor right away as opposed to the single marine. And there I build that CC, starter marine here, and you will see a depot. And again, no orbital. And I take 2 off gas, so I have more minerals. And here with this barracks, we're actually going to start a tech lab right away. So as soon as it's done, you want to start a tech lab on that. And as you can see, this looks very normal, right? The only real difference is that there's no orbital, right? But he won't notice that because he won't scout inside the main. Some players are a little bit greedy about that. So my second depot is a little bit late, so that is one thing to consider. What I'll do at this point now is I'm going to rally my marines across. I'm not worried about like keeping this alive or anything like that. And he was actually playing a little bit greedy here with the adept into sentry. This is actually to do the timing against the Reaper, funny enough. So that's what I'm saying. This is the best case scenario. But I'll show you guys a different game later on. I do want to say actually real quick though, the one thing that I've struggled with doing this build is actually against Stargate openers. So that's the only thing. If you do play against a Stargate opener, it does become a bit more tricky. You won't be able to end the game, but you might be able to kill a lot of probes. So I just wanted you to keep that in mind. Here I'm gonna wait for 2 marauders or 1 concussive shell finishes. Usually I try to do both. This adept's gonna go right across. Again, very normal, right? He probably just assumes I'm playing 3 racks because I went reactor first. And as for the transition, once you have enough money, it's okay to start 2 orbitals. And if you do the non-reactor version, after you build 3 marines, you want to start up a reactor here at the wall off and another racks. The reason why is because you basically got to go into 3 racks after this to defend any counters if you are to get attacked, or maybe your push doesn't go that well. This barracks here, after I build the 2 marauders, you can, if you have momentum, continue to build marauders and keep pressuring this. Or likewise, you can just like float it to scout the main like you would in a normal proxy. You could even try to send it across the map back to your base as well. Each one has their benefits, right? With the racks you can scout, but you know, you might miss out on some production in the future. And we're just gonna go straight into here. If your opponent is the kind of person that sends their adept like this, they have to recall it or walk it back. And you know what? Even if he didn't build a sentry, he would have had 1 other gateway unit, which probably would have been like a stalker or an adept. So catch him completely by surprise. Sentry can leave, and there you go. And right after you kill whatever unit is here, your first objective is to kill this pylon. If they pull workers to defend, you start cutting back and you can pick off the workers. But killing this pylon is important just because you depower these 2 gateways from ever coming up, which is basically, at this point here, he's got 1 gate, 1 unit, another unit coming out here, but it's just a bit too much for him to deal with. And there you go. Here I'm just transitioning. I'm a little bit focused on the micro here. kill a lot of probes, and that's pretty much it. So this is the best case scenario. We're gonna go ahead and open another replay where the game picks up a little bit, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So this is part 2, or not part 2, but replay 2 of the video. So like I talked about earlier, we're doing this proxy racks opener. Same thing here. Gonna send SCV out, rally this SCV to build my depot. This scenario is a bit different. This game goes on a little bit longer. I'm not gonna go through the whole game, but I'll show you guys kind of what goes down. Here I choose this location. Like I said, it's like pretty unlikely that they look for it, because this is gonna look really like normal to them. So that's basically what I'm betting on here. So again, same thing here. Regular opener, 16 rack, 16 gas. We're gonna do orbital after barracks, and then we're gonna go ahead put SV on the probe. You don't have to do it right away. Actually, if they start harassing the worker, then you can pull it. But I'm gonna do it right away. Here I'm gonna fake an orbital, and then this version I go reactor first. So there's two versions. There's two ways you can go about it. The reactor first version, you will have more marines, but it's a little bit more risky if they go up your base and they see that you're on reactor first. It doesn't necessarily give it away per se, but you know, more marines, and they're probably assuming you're gonna do some 3-rack stuff. Might play a little bit safer, so you kind of just want to avoid that. Not that every product will respect that, but sometimes that is the case. Here again, barracks with marauders for concussive shells. I'm gonna start at 2 marines, and I'm just gonna send these straight across. Okay, don't worry about this adept that's gonna go into your natural. Don't worry about anything like that. Just send the marines across like this. Gonna continue to build workers here. Like I said, I'm building some marauders. Now Pilly, I actually use this example because Pilly is a really aggressive player, and Pilly is the kind of person to have lots of units. Also, blind shield battery, by the way. Can I just say, blind shield battery? Look at this. So this is literally worst case scenario. My opponent builds a blind shield battery, opens 2 stalkers like this, and doesn't send a unit across, and immediately starts blink. So this is actually really tough for me. If it wasn't for that battery, he would just die, right? Like, that's pretty obvious here. He's only got 2 gateway units, and his second gate. He did a second gate before Twilight, like, or a second gate after Twilight. So here I actually come in as the shield battery finishes, which is very tough. You can also use this SCV to build a bunker if you want to, kind of press the issue there. But here I'm just rallying. I got marauders coming out, I have marines coming out. When you're in this kind of scenario, you really want to hit that battery, but you also don't want to get surrounded by the probes. So you'll see I kind of move back a little bit, and because Pilly pulls his probes back, I immediately walk back in here, and I want to hit that battery. You can see it kind of dies. I'll send 2 marines. I could have just sent 1 marine, to be honest, forward to hit that battery. As soon as that battery goes down, though, completely different story, right? Here I'm trying to conserve the HP. Marauder, and just picking off some of the stalkers there. Gonna micro that back. Other marauder comes in, so it can be a bit micro intensive, but like I said, this is indeed worst case scenario. Pilly literally saw nothing. Everything looked normal, but he still built the battery. And you know what? Like, I don't know why, but I wouldn't be surprised if some guy in Diamond League did that. So that's why I feel like this replay is a bit more realistic. Once you kind of clear the probes and clear the units, your next step, of course, is killing that second pylon on the low ground, so you can depower this gateway immediately. I'm preventing warp-ins now. Pilly builds this wall. I guess it's for me to not be able to go up the ramp. Not a bad idea. That's actually pretty cool. There's a little bit of a hole here, though, which kind of bites him in the ass. You can't walk back because of the probe, and then I end up walking into it to micro and get the probes. But these pylons do get up. Another battery is going to come up here, and I will be, unfortunately, not be able to kill him. I do kill 12 workers, and I've traded for a few stalkers. You can see here I've lost very low amount of units. Gonna get 1 more stalker there. Gonna go for another one. I did start stim here. Just a little bit greedy, to be honest with you. I really thought I was gonna get him. I was a bit surprised to see him still survive, but it would have been a little bit better for me to lift this now at this point here, and just kind of go home. So we're gonna start trying to kill more probes here. So my marines should be over here, and then yeah. So at this point, it's pretty cleaned up. Now, same kind of transition I was talking about earlier. I do have 2 orbitals. I knew that I was gonna be playing out the game, so I found time to build a bunker. I will be adding a 3rd racks here, and this will I'll have to cancel this. But now I'm ahead on workers. My opponent does have blink, that is true, but 2 gates in blink, and here I'm gonna be starting stim. I have 2 gases, you know, still ahead on workers here. Pilly decides he wants to go ahead and build up that stalker count to go across, but we do have this bunker up. I got a random extra marauder that I just sent across, and factory, and yeah, so I'm actually doing a series on aggressive Terran builds. So I'm gonna be uploading some videos on aggressive Terran builds in all matchups. This is just the one that I've been having the most success with recently. But I will just say again, like I mentioned earlier, just keep in mind that Stargate is really good against this, because you don't have enough Marines to kill the Oracle. So that is a bit of an issue. But yeah, so this game will play out. Like, I'll win. I just want to go too far into that. I pretty much just go into a standard transition, and start doing some Widow Mine drops, and yeah. But I'll include this replay and the other replay in the description either way. So if you guys want to see what happens later on, you can check that out. I just don't want to make this video too long, because it's just a build guide. But yeah, so just to kind of like reiterate here, remember, as you're trying to do this pressure, or when this pressure ends, if you can squeeze in the time, add that second racks back at home and try to go into that 3 racks so you can start stim, combat. And with this racks here, if you want to lift it to go scout his base or send it home, either one is okay. Just remember the pros and cons. You know, putting it into his base means you can get some scouting off, but maybe, like, you know, in this scenario, I already know what my opponent is doing, so it may not necessarily be too worth it for me to leave it in his base. So yeah. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching my video. Please sub, like, comment, subscribe again, and I'll see you guys next time.